In 1739, Bouvet Island, the world's remotest island, is discovered by French explorer Jean-Baptiste Charles Bouvet de Lozier. In 1865, during the Uruguayan War, the siege of Paysandú ends as the Brazilians and the Coloradans capture Paysandú, Uruguay. In 1848, Joseph Jenkins Roberts is sworn in as the first president of Liberia. In 1951, during the Korean War, Chinese and North Korean forces capture Seoul for the second time. In 1822, the government of Central America votes for total annexation to the First Mexican Empire. In 1941, United States President Franklin D. Roosevelt delivers his Four Freedoms speech in the State of the Union Address. In 1927, the first transatlantic commercial telephone service is established from New York City to London. In 1877, Crazy Horse and his warriors fight their last battle against the United States cavalry at Wolf Mountain, Montana Territory. In 1799, British Prime Minister William Pitt the Younger introduces an income tax of 2 shillings to the pound to raise funds for Great Britain's war effort in the Napoleonic Wars. In 9 AD, the Western Han Dynasty ends when Wang Mang claims the divine mandate of heaven called for the end of the dynasty and the beginning of his own, the Shin Dynasty. In 630, the Prophet Muhammad and his followers conquered the city of Mecca, and the Quraysh Association of Clans surrenders. In 1872, Johannes IV is crowned Emperor of Ethiopian Aksum, the first imperial coronation in that city in over 200 years. In 1847, the Treaty of Cahuenga ends the Mexican-American War in California. In 1814, the Treaty of Kiel, Frederick VI of Denmark seized the Kingdom of Norway to Charles XIII of Sweden in return for Pomerania. In 1889, the Coca-Cola Company, then known as the Pemberton Medicine Company, is incorporated in Atlanta. In 1547, Grand Duke Ivan IV of Muscovy becomes the first Tsar of Russia, replacing the 264-year-old Grand Duchy of Moscow with the Tsardom of Russia. In 1920, alcohol prohibition begins in the United States as the Volstead Act goes into effect. In 1871, Wilhelm I of Germany is proclaimed Kaiser Wilhelm in the Hall of Mirrors of the Palace of Versailles towards the end of the Franco-Prussian War. In 1607, San Agustin Church in Manila is officially completed. It is the oldest church still standing in the Philippines. In 1953, Dwight D. Eisenhower is inaugurated as the 34th President of the United States of America, becoming the first president to begin his presidency on January 20th. Since the 20th Amendment changed the dates of presidential terms. In 1793, after being found guilty of treason by the French National Convention, Louis XVI of France is executed by guillotine. In 1901, Queen Victoria dies. She was the longest reigning British monarch and female monarch in world history, until her great-great-granddaughter Elizabeth II surpassed her. She was the last monarch of Britain from the House of Hanover. In 1570, James Stuart, 1st Earl of Moray, regent for the infant King James VI of Scotland, is assassinated by firearm, the first recorded instance of such. In 1848, James W. Marshall finds gold at Sutter's Mill near Sacramento, starting the California Gold Rush. In 1573, during the Battle of Mikatakahara in Japan, Takeda Shingen defeats Tokugawa Ieyasu. In 1950, the Constitution of India comes into force, forming a republic. Rajendra Prasad is sworn in as the first president of India, now observed as Republic Day. In 1820, a Russian expedition led by Fabian Gottlieb von Bellingshausen and Mikhail Petrovich Lazarev discovers the Antarctic continent, approaching the Antarctic coast. In 1671, the original city of Panama is destroyed by a fire when privateer Henry Morgan sacks and sets fire to it. In 1886, Carl Benz patents the first successful gasoline-driven automobile. In 1948, following the assassination of Mahatma Gandhi in his home compound, India's Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru broadcasts to the nation saying, "The light has gone out of our lives." The date of the assassination becomes observed as Martyrs' Day in India. In 1915, during World War I, Germany is the first to make large-scale use of poison gas in warfare in the Battle of Bolimov against Russia.